Hello YouTube and welcome back to Charlotte for the Coke 600 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and joining me in the booth is Stephen Pod III. Say hi.
Well, hi guys. We've had a great weekend. We had a good Cheetos IndyCar race at the Brickyard time for the last race of Memorial Day week.
Yeah, I think it was what, Scott Dixon that won?
Yeah, clearly. No, Monster followed one.
Uh, Joshua Osborne on the front row with William Brock from qualifying, so an all Gargo Homer front row. Jessica Shelton, the highest of the non-Gargo homers in qualifying, at fourth, starting alongside Sky Commons. Row 3 sees Vince Almarego starting alongside Tom Shelley. Max Anderson, James Qualls in row number 4 with Samed Ozkan and Jack James in row number 5. Here's the rest of the starting grid as I hand it over to Steven.
Well, after the last 4 races this weekend, I expect absolutely craziness, a bunch of wrecks. And I'm saying this is probably going to be a clean race. We're going to see some crazy moves in turn 1, turn 3. How the cars go up the track, we'll see the same thing happening here. My pick to win, I look for Washer trying to have a race since Jackson and the Evernham team are slow on speed this week. To close it as he's the only guy who can take the points lead. And my pick to win is the 78 car because the part-time guys have been dominating the last few weeks.
Starting on the last row, Chris Wilson, Levi McIntyre in their backup cars, along with Jonathan Zorline back there in the 7. Charles Jackson, Chris Washer, the top two in the points. 77 points separating the two. Here's the command.
Drivers, start your engine!
Rest of the top 5 is Bill Bragg Jr., Tristan Wilhoit, and Vince Almarego. Rest of the top 10, James Qualls, Levi McIntyre, Sam Young, Zach Rogers, and Dylan Young. The onboards they will carry... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Charles. Sorry.
I was going to say the onboards they will carry are going to be the top 8 in the points. So starting with the points leader, carrying the Dodge onboard will be Charles Jackson. Carrying the Chevy onboard will be Chris Washer. Bill Bragg Jr., the Toyota onboard. Tristan Wilhoit, the Ford onboard. Vince Almarego, the Menards onboard camera. James Qualls, the FedEx onboard camera. Levi McIntyre, the Office Depot onboard camera. And Sam Young will be carrying the Waste Management onboard camera for us today, should we need them.
I will give a shout out to the 78, the 45, and the 29, the 18 for actually making this race.
The main battle in terms of points that we'll probably actually be watching throughout the race is going to be the battle between the 70, as we've got a smoker, Chris Wilson.
Okay. Chris Wilson in that backup car.
Yeah, and now the motor exploding. So, yeah, they've had a good weekend.
Yeah, they've had a little rough weekends. We're going green flag here.
Yep, green flag is out for the Coke 600 as Joshua Osborne actually beat William Brock to the line.
I think that was more exciting than the first 3 quarters of the Patriots game.
So worth mentioning then, I'm trying to think of where it was. The points battle that we'll be watching is actually going to be the battle between the 70 of Joshua Osborne and the 23 of Stephen Pollard III. 7 points separating those two for the 30th spot in owners points. And Joshua Osborne claiming 5 bonus points right out of the gate.
I don't remember where Osborne won at. I'm failing.
Road course, I believe. I think it was Road America.
No, he won the D&Q race at Road America.
Then what was the one after that? Because he won like right after.
Yeah, so we're 3 wide for second. This is going to get nuts. Remember, this is the longest race of the season, too.
Yep. And trouble! Oh, boy! Jack James is flying.
Well, there goes my pick.
Yeah, and a lot of others.
Well, the 78 is dead. The 4 is definitely dead. Chris Washer in the wreck.
And Jack James James Qualls, is around. Charles Sanford also involved. Levi McIntyre. Charles Jackson's in the middle of it as well.
I don't think he got any damage. He slowed way down, but the 78 is absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, they cannot catch a break. Levi McIntyre with damage as well. So there goes our final row, basically.
Anybody wreck under caution?
66 didn't even take the green.
That's going to be a very struggling start.
And we've got people taking advantage of pit lane, including William Brock, the outside pole sitter.
And people staying out. This could be very interesting.
So either they're banking on the idea that these guys are going to have to pit again, or they're banking on being able to get another caution. I don't know.
I don't know either. As William Brock's gonna hit that pit stop.
Maybe. We'll see if there's anybody going for tires here on this pit stop. No, it's going to be fuel only up and down the pit lane. And
Max Anderson. Let me remind you, Max Anderson, the 18.
It's actually going to be given to the 18.
Wait, what?
They're going to give that to the 18 actually. So the pit line is not the where the guy is standing.
Well,
look at the cars that pit though.
I was just gonna say Anderson and the 18 are below 35th in points, and they're running really well in this race.
So with that, let's take a look back at what happened to bring out the yellow for the first time and get you back here to the restart. And we're back. Already contact at this point between the 78 and the 4, and Jack James just trying to hang on to it. Worth mentioning, Jack James was actually 29th in the owner's points coming in, so that's worth mentioning.
And the 4 car struggling to make races last year. It's right here. Oh, Jessica's so lucky not to get involved there.
Yep. Cole Deaver gets a piece of it in the 8. R.J. Reynolds, Stephen Paul III having to take evasive action to the grass. Gene Sanford into the wall there. Nowhere for Charles Sanford to go in the 05. Dylan Young gets a piece of it.
Talking about struggling teams.
Sam Young, Christopher Pierce around.
Now you see Charles Jackson. He's behind the 14. He gets no damage. Just really on the brakes.
And I think we're going to have several onboards we can take. So let's go ahead and do that and show you what happened from their points of view. Onboard, Chris Washer. Onboard, Charles Jackson. Onboard, Levi McIntyre. Onboard, James Qualls is going to be an innocent victim in this one.
Maybe it's a good thing we did this.
Onboard, Sam Young. And with that, we'll go back to the restart now. And we're back. Isaac Flickinger, the only car to retire after that wreck. Chris Wilson obviously not taking the green flag with whatever mechanical issue was going on with their car. Joshua Osborne is the race leader over Sky Commons, Tom Shelley, Vince Almarego, Jessica Shelton, R.J. Reynolds, Mark George, Brian Patterson, Amy Shelley, and Kyle Matthews, the top 10. Chris Louvier, Seth Cole, Dylan Young, Muhammad Zain Abdullah, Max Anderson, William Brock, Zach Flickinger, Cole Deaver, Stephen Paul III, and Tristan Wilhoit, the top 20. Samed Ozkan, Tim Randolph, Delon Abrahamian, Gene Sanford, Zachary Fitzwater, Henry Sanford, Zach Rogers, Preston Plord, Bill Brack Jr., and Christopher Pierce, the top 30. William Duncan, Jonathan Zorline, Chris Washer, Charles Jackson, Sam Young, Will Lewis with a lot of damage there on the 07 car. Didn't expect that from that wreck. Charles Sanford, James Qualls, Jack James, and Levi McIntyre, the cars running. Everyone's still on the lead lap that is running, though. So we got that going for us.
Well, it looks like with more cars, it leads to a little more wrecking.
Maybe. Because this is, I will say, this is the same I-9 that the segment 2 of the All-Star race was run on, as we're back to racing here in the Coke 600.
Which is going to give advantage to guys who are in the All-Star race. They already know the package and how the track is running right now.
Yeah, Tom Shelley was not one of those people as in the All-Star race, though. He's now up to second. Osborne and Shelton were, though, so worth mentioning. Actually, so was Sky Commons, so...
How about the guy coming back here? How about R.J. Reynolds up here? Great run for the 44.
Yep. Although now Shelley actually hanging in there on the inside line a little bit better than what we saw in the All-Star race. So, okay.
Great I&I. The I&I rate maker needs to get raised.
I would agree. I would be all for this. As
we gotta find
Jessica
a new
Shelton's in the fence there, is going to get off it just fine, though. Tom Shelley now going for the lead once again, though.
Which I love so much about the I&I is the high side is such on turn 3.
And it's going to yield no lead change from it as Osborne continues to lead. Sky Commons, though, is going to grab second out of all of that.
Oh, God.
And now Brennan Patterson's going to grab fifth away from the 42. Seth Cole was up near the wall. Here comes Sky Commons. They're going to be nearly 3 wide into turn 3.
This looks like a D&Q race right here.
And Sky Commons going to get the middle line to work for him there. Here comes Osborne, though, around on the outside. And Osborne continues to lead.
I got to say the 45 mil got by Patterson right there.
Yeah. New leader, though, at Charlotte is Sky Commons out in front, and Tom Shelley's going to clear for second.
Now, these guys got to be careful because if they wreck in front of the pack, everybody's dead.
Chris Lubier had to lift going into 3. Osborne now gets the outside line. Here comes Tom Shelley. It's 5 bonus points to the 83 in their efforts to try and somehow get to the top 30 in points. And now here comes... Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Look at R.J. Reynolds going for the lead here.
Well, he's going to be in. Have Patterson on his inside. Tom Shelley trying to hang it around the outside now.
And you know what they say? Around the outside. Around the outside.
And now Reynolds going to go for second here on Joshua Osborne.
A lot of new faces up here. It's nice to see some new guys up here battling.
And Patterson going to try and get the second there. It's been a miserable season for him since the Atlanta win as Zain Abdullah has to get it off the fence in turn 2. Tom Shelley's loving this in his rearview mirror now.
This looks like R.J. Reynolds. Now this is what Tom Shelley... Man, imagine if Tom Shelley, I believe, is below Gene Sanford in points.
I can confirm this. That is actually literally by 1 spot. And it is by 13 points. Meanwhile, they've caught the lap traffic.
Oh, God. This is now... Oh, God.
So now R.J. Reynolds to the lead as they now have to deal with the 90. No! Okay, that was hazardous.
That would have been the whole entire field would have wrecked.
As Jack James is dreadfully slow off the pace, as is the 99. Mark George now goes for second. And I'm trying to figure out which battle I want to watch.
Did someone fry the mac and cheese?
As we'll check in back here, it's actually Jack James that is holding up the field, and this is Tom Shelley's season in a nutshell.
Tom Shelley went from leading the race to falling behind more than just Gene Sanford in points.
Yeah, because Gene Sanford's in this race. I don't even see her right now, so that means she's already gone past this. And now Levi McIntyre in the school of teammating is holding up the 6.
Well, we saw Kev did not do a good job of it in the first race. So Roush is just horrible teammates.
Clearly. Oh, there's Gene Sanford, so that confirms that part.
Look at this, R.J. Reynolds battling March. I think March George won a race this year.
No, he is not. Ganassi has not won this season with any of their cars, as Kyle Matthews now goes for second.
Well, I can tell you the 42 is doing 100 times better this year.
Yes, this is true. The next lap car that they might catch would be Will Lewis or Sam Young, possibly. Or it's maybe going to be the 4 again.
Now you got to remember the 4 car flipped on the front stretch 4 times. It's still out there running.
Granted, only 165 miles an hour compared to the leader's 192 going into turn 1.
They had to pound the roof for him to just get out there.
Kyle Matthews, though, going for the race lead now on R.J. Reynolds. He's going to have him cleared going down the back straightaway.
Man, I thought Patterson was going to dump R.J. Reynolds here.
But it's going to be Patterson and Reynolds who get the outside line going for them here through 3 and 4 as Zain Abdullah has to lift.
So,
5 bonus points to the 48.
if the 17 wins, that means the 47 is going to get DQ'd, right?
I don't know. This is a sister track, so that's worth mentioning.
Yeah. Well, it's more interesting when they're going to catch the 4 again.
Well, where is the 4?
That's a good question. Well, they blew up.
So the 4 is out of the race, and they've just decided to retire the car. That's it. They're not actually. They weren't DQ'd. They just retired the car.
Well, that was interesting. Patterson, first time we've seen Patterson be competitive since his win at Atlanta.
Yeah, so Patterson now leads over Reynolds. Now is going to be in second. Can Kyle Matthews get a move on for third? Reynolds now going for the lead as George goes for fourth. And here comes Jessica Shelton looking for a spot inside the top 5 now.
Well, it's a little too late to see Jessica as he shows up at the end of the races. So she's trying to make her for the field early here.
Yeah, definitely not a good sign for the field. As although I say that, Jess going to end up getting checked up on that inside line behind the 42.
My God, the high side is so God.
But at the same time, the outside line is not where you want to be for 1 and 2 as Brandon Patterson goes back to the top spot. And Shelton now to third. Here comes Zain Abdullah. Can he clear down the back straightaway is going to be the question.
Looks like more cars join the lead pack here until the 99.
Actually, no, he will not. So Shelton and Reynolds now will get the outside line advantage.
I can see a Wild Levi going to be appearing pretty soon.
Yeah. Now, will he actually be a good teammate for his teammate who is leading the race?
I'm going to go with a firm no.
Meanwhile, here comes Shelton. Oh, Patterson's in the wall.
Well, that was the saving grace for Patterson.
And meanwhile, Levi, this is not the line to be in.
Oh, God, Henry Williams with a head. Henry Williams.
That's Henry Sanford in the 0-0. And actually, Gene Sanford is going to use Levi as a pick there.
And a Sanford sandwich.
Meanwhile, it is still Brennan Patterson leading over Shelton and Reynolds now.
The 17's got the door knocked in.
Does he? Looks like he's fine. Yeah, the car looks clean. Meanwhile, Shelton gets the run off turn 4 with that outside line. Here comes Zain Abdullah now looking for third on RJ Reynolds.
Oh, he's been pretty clean ever since that first wreck, so they've been running pretty good. Oh my God.
3 wide between Matthews, Reynolds, and Shelley here. I forgot which series this was almost for a second.
Now you gotta remember, Amy Shelley started on the last row, I think.
No, we've actually basically lost our last row. Our last row was the 66 and the 99.
Well, I know Amy Shelley started in the back, so.
So I don't remember where though. That's the problem. Here comes Zain Abdullah trying to get underneath Shelton now. Can he clear down the back straightaway is going to be the question.
I think that Zain Abdullah won he won the Gatorade Duel.
He won the Gatorade Duel, but that has been it for his season so far. That's the only highlight. And right now he's getting shown up by the veterans right now because just outclassed on that outside line.
The outside line is so good. But how about that 17 of Patterson going away here?
And now Kyle Matthews to third, making it veterans 1, 2, 3 as Zain Abdullah and RJ Reynolds battle for fourth.
I think there's a lap car coming, but I'm not sure.
Should be. It's going to be the 07 of Will Lewis will be the next one that they encounter. Meanwhile, the battle for second between Jessica Shelton and Kyle Matthews now. As right now, they're just kind of holding steady, basically, up here. As Matthews now gets inside of the 21. Shelton's doing a great job of being able to run that outside line and not get the wall off turn 2, though. I will say that. Meanwhile, is Reynolds pitting? Yes, he is. Here comes RJ Reynolds and Mark George. And Will Lewis ducks to the pit lane.
Now, this could be a problem. Now, we've seen some of the qualifying and some of the races on practice when they try to pit that leads to a wreck.
And we're good. Sky Commons, Joshua Osborne as well on pit lane. So 4 of the lead lap cars pit there. I don't think the yellow's out.
The yellow's out.
Yeah, it is. Okay, the yellow is out. So a huge... Oh, and a wreck on the back straightaway. And that looks to be a very dangerous location. We might have had a very serious wreck.
The 20 car is absolutely destroyed.
And I'm assuming based on what I just saw with the 20... We've had a follow-up wreck. Chris Washer's in it.
I don't know what's going on. I think someone wrecked on the apron behind you, Charles.
Max Anderson with a lot of damage in the 88.
We're losing control of the race.
So it looks like the leaders are going to pit, though. So we are going to follow the pit stops here with the leaders. And then we are going to go ahead and see what happened to bring out the yellow and what happened down on the back straightaway. What possibly was a very serious accident, though, involving car number 20. And if the case is of what I think it might have been, definitely worrying about what was going on with the 20 and the status of Preston Plord there, as a lot of damage to the nose of the 8 of Cole Deaver, as, oh, Gene Sanford coming into the pit lane nearly clobbered the 5. And let's see what's the strategy on pit lane. Going to be right side tires going on as Cole Deaver and Sam Young collide on pit lane.
There was collision in the hood. There's collision everywhere on pit road.
Now, to be fair, Sam Young was a lap car as well. So 4 tires for the 17. And Tristan Wilhoit is going to be first off pit lane. In a stunning twist there. Jessica Shelton second. Mark George third. Kyle Matthews fourth. And Zain Abdullah fifth off pit lane. And... I'm guessing William Duncan did not pit, but he's got damage to the rear of his car. So let's go ahead and take a look back at what happened to bring out the yellow for the second time today. And we're back. Here's what happened, and it is a very weird and interesting wreck, I guess, and a very serious one at that. Max Anderson washes up into Vince Almarego. So not sure if this was tires or just rookie error here or what. But Max Anderson gets turned around off the nose of the 15. You're going to see Jean Sanford come into the shot here. She does a great job of actually missing this.
Well, I think it was maybe... yes.
And then it's going to be Zachary Fitzwater in the 19 who just comes along and, oh boy, we're going to have to worry about the fans as well, as some of the debris has flew into the stands apparently.
Well, granted, there's a giant Napa sign. I do not think there's fans there.
And, oh, Louvier, there's Preston Plord, though. Samed Oskan involved. There's Randolph. We're going to check back in with the 20 because we saw where he ended up. But here's that follow-up wreck that we basically saw. As Seth Cole gets involved. There's Jonathan Zorline involved in the 7. Dylan Young's going to come along in the 24. There's Cole Deaver getting his damage. William Duncan involved. Stephen Paul III doing something weird.
Well, the brakes clearly did not work there.
Is that the funding of that car?
Well, yeah, we got it from the 63 team in the Hooter Series.
Chris Washer comes along. He's actually going to avoid this. Yeah, so he avoids that. But then it's Preston Plord who also clobbers the 88 car and then goes driver's door into the 19 and then luckily does not hit that at the angle I thought he did originally, because I thought it was almost going to be something originally where the 20 maybe slid down into that wall and hit it kind of like Jeff Gordon did at Vegas. So at least
I think this is going to be the 19's first DNF of the season too.
It might be. I'm not able to really follow which column was what on the chart, but that at least answers our question of what happened for the wreck. I didn't quite see where Zach Rogers got involved in this though. So let's take a look at that. Let's see. Who did he hit? Oh, he's going to end up hitting the... or no, he gets hit from behind by the 41. And with that, we'll debate on some of the onboards if there is any that I can think of. If not, we'll go back to the restart. And we are back going green here. So we're not going to be able to get the running order. And actually, we've got some tail into lead lap cars as Tristan Wilhoit is the leader. Cars out of the race. Jack James is already out. So trying to Seth Cole, Zach Rogers, Samet Ozcon, Chris Louvier, Zachary Fitzwater, Max Anderson, Preston Plord, Jonathan Zorline, Tim Randolph out of the race after that last incident. Meanwhile, Tristan Wilhoit is the leader over Jessica Shelton, who is now into second, looking for the race lead.
Look who's in fifth. Holy crap.
Henry Sanford is going to be in fifth, I think. No, actually, Charles Jackson was the last scored in fifth. Shelton, not quite sure the motive on that line going up behind the 07. Meanwhile, Jackson now last scored in fourth. Henry Sanford now into fifth.
Now, see, the thing with the 9 car, it's really interesting because there's Washer right there, actually.
Yeah, Washer, actually, a tail end of the lead lap car just went a lap down to the race leaders.
Oh, this might not work.
And so now, as these guys try and get around, Shelton now finally will dispatch of the 07. And here comes Henry Sanford to the inside of Charles Jackson for third.
I think Henry has like 150 winning.
No, that's Gene. It's 80-something race. It's probably actually close to 90 at this point.
Well, if Henry wins, it's free whoppers in the booth.
Meanwhile, Jackson's going to get the outside line to work for him there and gets back into third spot. Now Charles Jackson going to go for second. And by the way, to make a correction on a line I said, because I realized it after the fact. I thought I was saying the right line when I said it. Charles Jackson has 6 top 5s in 11 races so far this season, not in 12. So, yeah.
Well, and also fact about Charles, he's had 6 top 5s and 6 top 10s also to boot with that.
Yeah, so none of his top 10 finishes have come with him finishing outside the top 5. So, and now he's trying to chase down the Daytona 500 winner, Tristan Wilhoit, in the 16.
The 70 is the first car, so we have a caution. They will get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, they are currently tail end of the lead lap. And right now, worth mentioning that they are behind the 23 car as the 41 is... Okay, I guess the 23 passed them? Yeah. It's weird. Oh, yeah, there's the 23. So remember, the 23 and the 70 were battling for the 30th spot in the owner's points. Although, with the 4's misfortunes, I think both of them will be able to be safe from the top 30, and it'll actually be Jack James who falls out.
And Jack James decided to go off for 5 laps and slow up everybody.
And Jessica Shelton, trying to hang it in tough, is actually going to hang it in on that right rear quarter panel, the 42. Going to try and get that outside line working as they go to turn 1. And that's actually going to be the best I think we've seen someone hold it on the inside line through 3 and 4.
Yeah, also notes Red Bull won at Martinsville, and Scotty Commons trying to keep it up on here for the Red Bull team.
Yeah, although Sky Commons is also a lap down.
Okay, never mind, that was a fail.
Meanwhile, Tristan Wilhoit to the inside of Joshua Osborne, and the difficulty on this is going to be Osborne is up to speed. Remember, he's only in this situation because he was on pit lane at the time of yellow.
So that's just why he's got a fast car too. Just really bad luck. And Charles Jackson started in the bottom half of the field. Look at him go.
Yep, Charles Jackson started in 38th due to cars that actually had to go to the rear of the field. He qualified in 40th and is currently running in second. As Amy Shelley got a run on the outside line of Henry Sanford, is now going to go for third on Kyle Matthews.
Great run by Amy. Amy started in the back. Man, the back of the field. Jesus.
And Jackson's going for the race lead as they're starting to catch the 99. Wilhoit's in the wall.
Oh, God. This could lead to a wreck to the bad spot.
And Wilhoit's going to get blocked in by his teammate. Oh, that was close.
Oh, 99's going to slide. Oh, God. Nice job by Wilhoit for hitting the brakes.
Yeah, this is definitely not ideal for Wilhoit or for Matthews or for Sanford there in the 00. As, RJ Reynolds, though, also a lap down from the pit road mishap because he was on pit lane.
Oh, sorry, Charles.
I was going to say because the 44 was on pit lane at the time of yellow as Zach Flickinger is off the pace in the 55. He's got damage to the hood as well. Go ahead now. Awkward silence. Charles Jackson now leads over Amy Shelley. Mark George going for third on Muhammad Zain Abdullah. And Will Hoyt will rebound to be in fourth. Jessica Shelton in fifth right now. Zain Abdullah now is going to get to third here from the outside line. Might be having technical difficulties. My internet's been pretty bad as of late.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we're back. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You were going to try and say, though, before...
I don't remember.
Okay. Sky Commons trying to get his lap back because of the pit road incident. So too RJ Reynolds. They've got quick cars. They just... Unfortunate luck as well with, like, the 70. And right now, trying to just get back and get a timely yellow if they can. Meanwhile, Amy Shelley going for the race lead on the 9 of Charles Jackson.
Now remember, these two cars started in row 9 of the field. This is crazy. What a drive by these two.
Ooh, Jackson nearly got the wall. Here comes Zain Abdullah now to second. Or at least going to try it, but he's mistiming this.
Well, and there's a big gap in the field from like 10th on, so.
Well, there's fourth right there. There's fifth. Meanwhile, Gene Sanford into eighth, going for seventh now. Kyle Matthews is going to make it 3 wide. He's the meat in a Sanford sandwich.
Man, what a shock. Oh, no. Oh, look at that.
Oh, boy. Gene Sanford's going for it as Henry Sanford's in the wall.
If Gene Sanford wins this race, this chat is going to burn to the ground.
That would actually snap a 100-plus race winless streak if that were to happen.
If Gene gets up there, Charles is going. The reaction is going to be priceless.
Well, if that happened, yeah. As Christopher Pierce goes a lap down.
Oh,
and
there goes the shot.
Unfortunately for Shelton and Sanford, both of them getting jammed up behind the 41.
Damn it, Seth.
And that's just showing how far off the pace the 41 is. Even with the outside line OP, still got cleared by those cars.
Yeah. So let's see. Now these two are just inseparable side by side.
Battle for the lead once again, the 9 and the 12, as Sky Commons also up here in this mix now. Remember, that's also a battle for position with the 70. And as they are catching the 23, this is going to be a very important battle between these two.
Yes, it is going to be.
Because this could determine who is 30th in the owner's points going into Las Vegas next week. As Jackson tries to put the 71 lap down, they catch the 23.
Whoa, Steven blocking.
Steven trying to block both lines, now puts himself in front of the 70.
Well, the 70 needs to get out of the way anyways. But there's the 42. They're racing the 42.
And now Osborne to the middle is going to pass the 23 and move the 70 in front of him for an all-important spot as they catch Levi. Okay, hello. Oh, contact.
Oh, contact.
Will Hoyt actually going to benefit from that. He's going to grab second. Sky Commons got past the 23. That was for position.
That is for position. Here comes RJ. Oh, he's a lap down too.
And that would be another spot. That would make it 9 points in favor of the 70.
God damn it.
As meanwhile, Gene Sanford gets held up and William Brock gets a spot off of that.
Gene just blocked the crap out of the 48 car.
And so now battle for the top spot once again. Now Will Hoyt wants his turn at it as there are 10 laps to go in the Coke 600.
As you remember, Will Hoyt has had a rough season so far after being a points leader for a while, looking for a rebound.
You say that. He is still fourth in points, even though he's 200 points back.
He has been running too well the last few weeks.
Now they're catching up to Zach Flickinger in the 55 car.
Oh, no. Which lane? Oh, they're going to slide up. Now, what this is doing, this is allowing some cars back there to catch up.
Yeah, it is. And it's going to allow for a pass for the lead. Tristan Wilhoit to the lead.
Oh, God, this is getting really, really intense.
As Mark George adds his name into the mix. He's in fourth right now.
Oh, God, I think some of these
Actually, no, Mark George is a lap down out of all this.
Now we're under 10 to go, so if there's a caution, everybody bunches up here.
Stephen Paul III now blocks Gene Sanford. Kyle Matthews gets a spot.
As you hear, Stephen getting thrown out of the broadcast booth.
So actually, Mark George is a lap down. I didn't realize that one. I forgot that he was also on pit lane during the yellow.
Cole Deaver's got no hood. Everybody's. That's a position too.
That is another position for Osborne as Stephen Paul III slowly sees himself falling out of the top 30 possibly.
He's slowly crawling out of the booth. Oh no!
As Cole Deaver gets out of the way of Osborne, but not without a little bit of hesitancy in doing so. Now Sky Common's going to get a spot out of this. Here comes Abdullah. Those are teammates.
Yep.
And Cole Deaver didn't really leave him too much room there. Didn't kind of get out of his way at all, really.
This has been so intense.
As now Zayn Abdullah was able to set his sights on the 16, maybe. Mark George now unlaps himself from the 1. Tristan Wilhoit trying to lap the 70 once again is not going to be able to do so is because Osborne's going to have the outside line.
Well, what's helping the 16 is he's got 3 lap cars in front of him in the 1, so that's going to help.
Well, he's got 3 of them in between. Well, he's got 2 of them in between, but here comes Mark George as one of them.
Now, don't look now, but the top 9 are separated by 2 seconds. Anybody's got a shot here.
Mark George now going to try and unlap himself from the 16.
See, that's a bad position for the 42.
And he will do so, maybe?
No.
Is Osborne pitting?
Osborne's pitting.
He is!
Oh, no.
So
Well,
Osborne has to pit.
George
Now
right
can they make it? The
No,
07's
some
on
guys
pit
might
lane.
can't make it. This is going to be fuel mileage.
Tristan Wilhoit leading, but now fuel becoming an issue.
Oh, Gene Sanford in the sandwich there.
As there's a big melee of cars that are in there right now. Amy Shelley now in 3rd. Zayn Abdullah in 2nd.
Can Wilhoit make it? He's slowing.
Wilhoit's not pitting.
None of these
There's a
guys
wreck!
pitting.
Caught! I think there's a wreck. I heard someone... There might have been a wreck. I don't know. Jackson's on pit lane.
That's huge. No, can they make
Sanford
it?
now
Real.
pits. Dylan Young pits. Levi's only going 162.
What's the shot? Can he make it? Can 16 make it on fuel? He's got a big gap to slow it down.
He's slowing in turn 3. He's pitting. Tristan Wilhoit can't make it.
He can't make it. None of these
Shelley's
guys
going to try. Amy Shelley to the
Sanford.
lead with 2 to go.
Sanford stays out. Sanford got nothing to lose.
That's a part-time effort in that 47.
There's nothing to lose for the 47. I hope the 47
Amy Shelley's going to try it. 14th in the points for Amy Shelley. Can she make it 2 more laps?
I don't think the 12 can make it. I don't know. It's going to be really close. Nope, slowing. They're pitting.
I think the
Sanford.
47's pitting as well.
Nope, 47's going to, unfortunately, pit.
So the 12 and the
Who stands
47
out?
pit.
70, is it 70? Oh, 70, nope, 70 was a lap down.
The 9's also a lap down. But we're going to follow because where does he come out in relation to the 16?
The real question, who the hell is the leader?
Right now it is still Amy Shelley. She has crossed the line. We are on the white flag lap. There's Tristan Wilhoit.
Can Wilhoit get them? That's the question.
They're coming off pit lane right now.
Go. Amy's up to speed.
There's
Wilhoit's still
Wilhoit. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Wilhoit's got this. There's the 47.
It's going to be close.
There's the 12. Wilhoit to the lead on a last lap pass.
Well, what's going to hurt is the 6. Nope, he's going to get the 99 car here.
And fuel mileage tried to play a factor. Not going to do so, though. Off turn number 4. Tristan Wilhoit is going to take the Coke 600 crown. He wins at Charlotte.
Good win. That was crazy.
Amy Shelley in 2nd steals the top 5 out of this, I think. Charles Jackson
gets
3rd.
another one.
William Brock in 4th. Kyle Matthews 5th. Gene Sanford will come home 6th. Bill Bragg Jr. 7th. Mohammed Zain Abdullah 8th. Jessica Shelton in 9th. And Tom Shelley does get a top 10.
Charles Jackson continues the top 5 streak. That was the best race of the season.
And you know
Oh
what's funny
god.
is that's still a 2 second margin of victory.
Well, you know what? Also, Charles Jackson's gonna have a full race over Chris Washer. We might have a new second place in points.
Well, we'll have to see. That was 116 points, I think. I probably got a little too loud considering the time that we're recording this. Uh, showing you the bottom half of the grid. I've went through the top 10. I hand it over to you for your final thoughts, Steven.
Well, first of all, I agree. It's 3:30. I'm going to bed after this. But anyways, it was a great race. That was one of the best, exciting race. We saw a lot of racing. Lap cars played a factor. Tom Shelley got a top 10. I don't know where we're going next week. The Patriots won. We had a great race, and it's time for bed. Don't you agree, Charles?
I think so, yeah. That was actually Gene Sanford's first top 10 of the year, by the way. Worth
That's so.
mentioning. Um, but yeah, next weekend actually gonna be a standalone event for the Hooter series. Actually,
Oh,
trying to remember where they're going. It's a mile and a half track. Like it's one of the speedways. I don't remember which one.
so guys, I would turn the clicker and not watch it. It'd probably be a bore fest.
Uh, I know in 2 weeks' time the Cup Series will be back with COT racing action from Vegas. Doubleheader with them in the Reebok Truck Series.
And a part time, and the 46 car is going to win that race.
You know, you never know. Um, with that, congrats to Tristan Willard on his second win of the season. Thanks Steven for joining me. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't today for more racing action and gaming related content. I'm Gordon Fan 291, and for Steven Paul III, this has been a production of the NRSL. I'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.